Welcome to the Stats on Stats Pod. Yeah.
Are we good?
The Stats on Stats Pod.
Now we'll give her a second.
I'm good.
You're good?
Yep.
That's a nice room you're in. It looks like you're in a studio.
Thank you.
Are you not in a studio?
I'm at home, and I be trying to cover up all my stuff at home.
Cybersecurity.
Yeah, I'd be like, don't even think you know where this wall is at.
Hey, that's fair. That's totally fair. I've seen a lot of people's stuff at this point. But anyways, how are you today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing pretty well. It's been a good morning. I woke up early, got a chance to catch up on a couple shows and do a little laundry. So it's a good day.
Oh, what time is early and what kind of shows are you watching right now?
I woke up at 7 something, about 7:15. Yeah. And I watched the season finale of The Shy.
Oh, The Shy. I used to watch
Yeah.
that and it got kind of like dark for me.
It did. What season? 3?
I stopped at like I think it was like season 2 or 3, whatever season that dude with the food truck was
Yeah.
off it.
That
Yeah.
was season 1. When I don't think he came back after season 1. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I stopped watching then.
Or it might have been 2.
I
It
think it was
might, but
season 2
yeah, okay. Yeah.
where he was making the tacos and stuff. But yeah, I'm from Chicago. That show was depressing to me. So, anyways, all right. Yeah. So you want to go ahead and get into the one thing that apparently people really don't like, per the comment we got last week. Shout out to that guy.
Nobody likes it.
But do you know what's about to happen before we get into the questions?
Nope. I'm here for the ride.
No? All right, cool. So we're going to be playing a little game called That's My Jam, 90s R&B edition.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yes, he
dun,
is
dun,
growing
dun,
on you.
dun, dun. It's not, but I'm trying to like pretend it is. Okay, so here are the rules. We're going to play 4 covers of 90s R&B songs. You have until the end of the song to guess either the name of the artist or the name of the song. If you're able to guess both, it's a flex, but the points are still the same. You get 2 to 3 guesses.
Ooh. I hope it's songs I
ready?
know. Okay. All right.
Do you listen to 90s R&B?
Yeah, I think I do, but we'll see.
Okay, totally fair. All right, let's get into it. Anthony, song number 1, please.
I don't wanna rain on this parade,
I love this song.
but I'm starting to question the love that was made. I'm not looking for just an affair. Want a love that is based on truth, not just air. Won't hurt my pride if right now you decide you aren't ready to settle down. Want my heart, then it's time that you start. Act like you're mine in the light and the dark.
Oh, she didn't sing the rest of the song.
Man,
Love that. She didn't hit the chorus.
That was rough. I feel like I've heard the song, but all the names I'm going to name are embarrassing, but I'm going to name them anyway. So
Okay.
I'm going to say artist because I don't know the name of the song. I'm going to say Tony Braxton or Tamia.
those are both pretty good
Yeah,
guesses.
those are good guesses.
Yeah.
It could have been their songs, but no, it's actually If You Love Me by Brownstone.
Never was going to get it.
Yeah, they were like, if you love me, say it.
Go ahead.
Nah, that was it. All right. All right, song number 2, please.
Well, I don't really care what people say. I don't really watch what them want to. Still, I got to stick to my girls like glue. And I play number 2. All I know the time is getting dread. Need a lot of trees up in my head. Got a lot of damsel
You don't know it,
in my
Jordan?
bed.
No,
to
but Tiffany
run
does,
that
apparently.
riot.
Sean Paul. Like,
Yep.
Nice.
I was nervous. I'm like, I know that one. Okay.
I was like, I really don't. So that's good that you did. All right, we on a roll now. It's official. Song number 3.
Well, I tried to tell you so, but I guess you didn't know. As the saddest story goes,
She in it.
baby, now I got the flow. 'Cause I knew it from the start. Baby, when you broke my heart, that I had to come
got this
again and show you that it when you lied to me. All those times I said that I loved you, you lied to me. Yes, I tried, you lied to me. Even though you knew I'd die for you, you lied to me. Yes, I cried, yes, I cried.
Return of the Mac.
Okay. She in the
2
pocket
points, 2
now.
points, 2 points.
Let's go. Let's go. All right, last one. Song number 4.
It's 2:11 and I'm stressed. I'm watching TV in my hotel suite.
You know this one? Me neither. Hold on.
Nope.
I check my service every second. At 2:10, you still hadn't called me. So I'm gonna leave my cell phone
got it.
turned on in my purse by the bed. And before I fall asleep, I guess I'll just check my machine again and again.
I'm gonna give her a
Because
hint.
I'm obsessing on you.
You gotta stop giving people hints.
Oh, that one, I'm not gonna get that one. I'm gonna guess a totally random name, but I'm gonna say Tweet.
Nick
Oh,
Cannon fumbled the bag.
Mariah Carey?
There we go. Give it to her.
What song is that?
Even slightly close.
It's called, I think it's called Baby Doll. Oh, sorry.
It is called Baby Doll.
It's called Baby Doll by Mariah Carey. Yeah. Respectfully, I
That's
don't know
fine.
that song.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Guyana be singing for real. You go, Guyana. Tell me when your next show is. I'm going to check you out. All right, let's go ahead and get into the reason people actually come here. If it's your first time, welcome. If you already know the vibes, welcome back. I'm Jordan, a.k.a. Jay, a.k.a. The Chosen One, a.k.a. Big Stepper. I actually remembered all those names today, and I am here with my co-host.
Hi, I am Tiffany B, and we're excited that you're here for this episode of the Stats on Stats podcast, where we get to talk to people who are leaders in the cyber IT technology spaces. So we have one of those leaders with us here today. She is going to tell you who she is, where she's from, what she does in the space, and how long she's been in this career field. And you can take it away.
All right. So my name is Destini Simmons, aka Cyber Shortieee. I am born and raised in Michigan, but I am based in Dallas, Texas at this time. I currently serve as a cybersecurity cloud solution architect. And then I am also a cybersecurity educator, and I also am a co-host on the Textual Chatter. So that is a little bit about me and what I do. I've been in the field, I would say, since 2020 when I started my master's in cybersecurity. So about 5 years this year.
What were you doing before you got into cybersecurity?
A bunch of nothing, to be honest. I was working, but I just had a job to pay the bills. It wasn't really anything that I was super passionate about. It was a really good job, but I knew that that wasn't going to be the end for me. I couldn't see myself retiring from that role. So before I got into cyber, I was working as a claims specialist, actually, for folks who were injured in car accidents. So I was paying their medical bills, assisting them with the care and the treatment kind of associated with that process.
That's dope. My mom used to do that, I think. I'm probably lying, I think. I don't know. Where did your name come from, Cyber Shortieee? That's dope.
I don't know. I was just trying to think of something to add when I created my Instagram page. I was just trying to think of something that was cyber focused and not already taken. And when you type in that username, I think it just popped up and it wasn't taken. And I was just like, and I think it was taken. That's why I have so many E's. So I think it might have been taken just with one E, but I added the 2 E's after that.
Are you short?
I mean, who's asking? Someone tall?
That's fair. I was trying to figure out, is it a play like on, when people are like, what up, shorty? Or is it like you're actually short?
I'm kind of short. I'm like 5'3" ish on a good day.
Respectfully, is taller than me, so it's fine. All right, Tiffany, I'll let you jump back into it.
Definitely want to know, like, what truly sparked your curiosity and inspired you to go into cybersecurity from the beginning?
Honestly, I don't have a super glamorous story. I didn't wake up one morning thinking, oh my gosh, I want to go into tech. I don't have a magical answer. I never really considered tech an industry for me until I saw it was offered for tuition reimbursement. And like I was just saying a little bit, when I was in that role as a claims specialist, it started to become one of those things where it's like a stressful work environment and you're kind of starting to feel burnt out. And so I felt like I was desperate at that point to get out and just do something completely different. So I was just like, why not do something that's a complete 180 from what you ever thought you would do? So like growing up, of course, I was exposed to technology. My granddad was an engineer, so like he always made sure we had a computer and we know how to use it and things of that sort. I can remember putting it together, but honestly, seeing that that degree was offered for tuition reimbursement sparked my interest. And then that's when I started researching like career fields and different things that you can do under cybersecurity.
Okay, during your research, what are some things you found that you realized could kind of transfer from what you learned in your previous roles into this cybersecurity role that you were looking at?
Yeah, I think just helping people. I think that that is what my passion is, no matter what industry that I work in, what sector. I think I just really enjoy helping people. And when I was with the criminal justice, I wanted to be a juvenile probation officer or work at a group home or a facility or something of that sort. And so again, helping individuals. And so I think once I realized that that can be your life in the cybersecurity or the technology industry, helping keep technology, data, systems, assets secure. I was like, well, I mean, this isn't really too far. I mean, obviously it's more technical than what I'm used to, but it's in alignment with who I am and kind of some of what my values are.
Yeah, that's cool. That's fire. So for you, because I know, like you said, you're a podcast host for a podcast that essentially exposes people to cybersecurity. You guys are really grounded, very, very real. I really like what y'all do. You're also an educator. So it's very clear you like to help people. Where does that drive come from?
Feeling like I wish I had a me when I was going through school. I did have a me, but I only had a me for 2 classes. So one of my favorite instructors when I was getting my master's, shout out to Dr. Renita, she's the bomb.com. But I wish that I had more instructors or professors that were like her, that were willing to kind of, I would say, not necessarily baby step me, but walk me through some things that maybe you assumed we should know. One of the reasons why I went after my program is because it was advertised as you don't have to have any experience. And so I was like, okay, great. I don't have any experience. I'm the perfect candidate. And then when I got in, I was starting to realize, okay, most folks that I'm in class with, they do have some sort of experience. They're already in the industry or they're interning or they've already done this in the past. So I wish that I would have had someone to explain the same concepts that I learned to me in a way that I could easily relate to and better digest it and, just kind of pick up on those knowledge gains. And so I think that's why I do it, is because I know, or I just anticipate and kind of think about where I would be today if I had a me back then to explain things to me in a way that I could relate to a lot more easier.
Yeah, that's fire. So now that you're in the industry, right, you have that experience in going to college. Now that you're in the industry, because there's like this huge debate, right, on whether or not people need to go to college for cybersecurity. So based on what you know now, if somebody were to come to you and they're like, I'm thinking about, going the college route, what are your thoughts on that? What would you tell them?
Okay, so for me, I needed to go. And I say that all the time. I'm going to forever say that. There was no way I could have learned the amount of information that I learned in 2 years on my own. Just the structure that school brings, you spend your semester learning this topic, move on to another topic. I don't think that I would have approached studying in that same way. And so I know I wouldn't have been able to pick up on those concepts in the same way. I also had a couple of classmates who were good friends, and we used to study together and things like that. So doing that on my own wouldn't have reaped the same benefits as well. Right now, in the industry that we're seeing today, I say if you want to go back with a plan. Don't go back with the hopes and dreams that just getting the degree is enough. Just getting the degree is not enough. Getting the degree and a certification is not enough. You have to go beyond that. You have to actually be passionate about what you're doing, which will make you be more curious. And if you're curious, you might try and want to learn different things or technologies. So that would be my advice. And I also feel like when you graduate, you also are exposed to more opportunities for like an internship or a cohort styled program where they're looking for recent grads, right? So they know you don't have that experience as opposed to you going in as like an industry hire where they're expecting you to know X amount of things in order to, maintain that role.
You can tell she does a podcast. Not a word filler in sight. Not a not a like. I dig it.
I feel like we got kind of your why in terms of your education and why you decided to do the cybersecurity route. But what I would like to know is when you think about aspiring cybersecurity professionals and foundational knowledge that's going to be best for them, what do you feel like they would need most, like in order to be successful in that? And then also, how do you leverage your platforms that you have right now in order to help give that back to those people who are aspiring cybersecurity professionals?
I have a simple answer. I think that people most need confidence and they need context. Confidence to know that, this is different, right, from maybe something that you learned in the past, but you don't necessarily lack that intelligence. Maybe you lack the belief in yourself. Maybe you lack access to the material that's for you. There's a ton of material out here, but it just might not be designed for the way that you learn. So I really try to focus in on helping individuals understand the why behind the tools, not just how they actually work. So I just try to break that down in a way that feels relatable, in a way that feels fun, in a way that has a little bit of flavor, and that's not so black and white and kind of dry, because it can be very dry content, especially if you've never been exposed to it before. So I try to relate it to urban life in a way.
So what do you? I know you said you're a cybersecurity professional now. So what do you do? Like, what does your 9 to 5 look like?
Yes. So my 9 to 5 looks like a ton of different things. So I'm a security cloud solution architect, and I focus in on Defender products. So you have the Defender for Cloud, Defender XDR, Defender for Identity. I can go on and on. Endpoint. But all of Microsoft's our security stack, and so those are the technologies that I focus on. And by focus on, either a customer is wanting to get it deployed, either a customer has questions about how does it work, or they have a question on what are the appropriate permissions, or do we have it configured safely in our environment. So there's a number of different things that I do with customers, but my favorite thing that I do is actually running assessments on their environments and then being able to explain to them the business risk that is presented, and essentially how they can go about remediating those findings that have been identified. Again, going back to that education passion, I just like to educate and inform. And a lot of these folks are busy, right? So they can't keep up with all of the updates that come out. They may have knew how to use that solution a year ago when they deployed it, but we've released updates month over month that they might not be aware of, or there's a configuration that just came out that you might want to make sure you have eyes on. So I think that those are like my favorite things, but I'm doing all types of different activities, very customer facing, customer meetings on a day-to-day basis. I have some customers that are aligned to me, and then I'm also serving in kind of like a more transactional space as well, where I'll talk to someone different today versus tomorrow, next week, and so on.
Sounds like you're in front of customers a lot. And I know a lot of times when we're doing tech, we often get in the habit of kind of not being customer facing, not dealing with conversations with multiple people. How did you prepare for being in a position where you are constantly making these relationships with people and trying to continue to have conversations and discussions so that you can get them to the destination that they look for their organization?
Yes, the conversation piece is always the interesting part. So when I initially started, I was actually a customer success manager, so not technical at all. And then I transitioned over to a more technical role. So I think having my education as a background already gives me a little bit of a cushion, because, at least privilege is, right? You either know it or you don't. You either know it or you don't. Now we can start diving into different technologies that'll help you with that. But I feel like my background really, really, really supports me to be successful. I didn't learn one thing in my master's program that has been irrelevant to me today. Every single class that I took has been applicable. Every trick that they taught us, every report that they told us to go take a look at and be able to identify so that you understand your customers' objectives. So I feel like for me, the conversation piece comes a little bit more naturally, but also knowing the technology as well. It's one thing for you to know kind of like the theory behind it, but if you don't know the technical side, then it does make that conversation a bit more difficult to have. It's not necessarily impossible, but it does make it more difficult. So I feel like not only knowing how to have like the business conversation, but the technical conversation, having the education behind you, and knowing how to use these solutions, or even just being able to enact these scenarios in your own demo environment so that you can go back and explain, okay, I see what's happening. This is what we can do to resolve.
You mentioned having the ability to do these in your own demo environment. How important do you feel it is for people who are doing tech, IT, cybersecurity to have their own demo environment? And do you have any tips or suggestions for those people?
It depends on what they want to do specifically, because maybe everything won't require you to have like a cloud lab. But I do think it is important, and especially if it's something that you can maintain. I mean, there is a cost associated with that, but most providers do give you at least 30 days free, so at least you can play around and get familiar with some of these solutions. But I do think it's important that you actually touch the tools, so that if you do come into an interview, at least you understand some basic navigation, how to set up some VMs or how to keep them secure, whatever it may be that you're interested in. But on the other side, let's say you're interested in networking. Are you touching any of your devices at home? I think it is important for you to have put practice into whatever it is that you're pursuing, whether that's physically in the flesh, I'm touching this switch, I'm getting this Ethernet port configured, or whatever it may be, or if it's something cloud-based. I think you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not taking advantage and trying to make yourself stand out, because that's essentially what it's about. 3 people can have a master's, 3 people can have their certs, but what makes you stand out in that crowd?
That's something I feel like I talk about all the time. Like, especially when I'm doing like interview panels and stuff, like that's one of the first things I'm thinking in my head. If you show up to an interview and say you've had ample time to prepare for it, did you lab? Did you play with the software at all? And if you didn't play with the software, do you lab at all? Do you have anything on GitHub? Things like that. I personally think it's probably one of the more important things that you can do in order to stand out, for sure. Oh, and write blog posts. Get in there.
Yeah.
Write some blog posts, for sure. But I actually had a question kind of about going back to Tiffany's inquiry about communication. Do you feel like you working in claims kind of helped you?
No, because it was very black and white. It's following the policy language. It is or it's not approved. But I do have a communication coach. And she is everything to me. She helps me get my words together kindly, right? Professionally. She helps me think about a different perspective than what I'm considering. And if there's a crisis or a fire, she helps me kind of navigate how that needs to be put out. And that is helping me build up my communication strategies, I feel like it is an acquired skill set for me, right? I can't, and I'm referring to maybe like if it's a more high pressure, tense scenario, which they happen. But just being able to navigate that, I'm not one to feed into the BS and to feed into the drama. I'm not getting sarcastic in emails. I'm not being petty. If you ask me to send you something and I already sent it, I'm going to resend it to you. I'm not a fan of the back and forth and that banter. So I feel like that does keep me on a level-headed space, and it's just finding the right words to articulate that maybe I understand your concern or I understand your issue. Having that empathy, not only via whatever call that we're on, but also in messaging format, sending out the appropriate communications and bringing in the right folks to help kind of fill in any gaps that may be needed to fill. I hope that answers. Sorry.
Nah, it totally does. I'm gonna let Tiffany get back on track, but I really want to talk about AI.
You're not holding me up from anything.
I want to talk about AI. So let's get into it. Are you currently doing anything to kind of, I guess, enable yourself or get spun up on the security implications associated with AI?
Absolutely. In my role, AI is so serious, right? Everyone's using it, but how are we protecting our data? How am I managing and monitoring what you're putting into that AI search engine or whatever it may be that you're using? How do I monitor to see what prompts are being used? Those are all things that you don't consider if you're not in security and your customers aren't being impacted in that manner. So definitely being upskilled on the solutions that help Defender for AI, for example, that helps you monitor your AI environment or landscape across your entire organization. So doing a ton of upskilling with that, it's not going anywhere. So learn the tools so that you can help your customers keep their environment secure. And I think it also ties into data protection. Data protection and AI are not necessarily the best of friends, right? And so, first of all, do we have classifiers in your environment? Do we have DLP in place to then help guardrail AI and some of the things that are being done? So I'm doing a ton of that right now in my current role, upskilling on like the AI 900, which is our foundational AI certification. But absolutely, it's not going anywhere. Follow the path, stay competitive.
Truth. Have y'all, including Anthony, have y'all heard about the thing, like the Chat GPT thing, that if you share your stuff, it gets indexed into Google?
Public. Yeah.
I've seen that as well.
Yeah,
I've seen
that's
that as
wild.
well.
I think they're turning that off though. They're plugging the hole.
Are they?
As of
And-
this morning, I saw it on the news. They're plugging it.
Yep,
They're
and
turning that off.
scrubbing it.
Yeah.
And
I didn't
it's
see
so they didn't know it was gonna boom like this. They didn't think about all these implications that the AI systems could present. And that's another reason why security is important and making sure that you understand even just what's in the privacy policy with ChatGPT or these other AI solutions that you're using.
Stop clicking through the stuff, y'all. Read it. Read it. Use Speechify if you need to. Read it.
With the way everything is changing, especially with adding AI into your role, when you think about education and the people that you're mentoring, how do you ensure that you keep everything current as, I'll say, a curriculum when you look at like training everyone?
Absolutely. Well, for the education piece, with the school that I work for, we are required to meet with industry professionals and kind of talk about what's happening to make sure that we're making those adjustments in our program to make sure that our students are being exposed to what is relevant. And I can also say that for the school that I graduated from as well. When I was getting my master's, Python wasn't in the program. Python was in it the year after. So just making those transitions and adding in and removing things to make sure that that content is relevant is so important. And I also think they're going to hate that I'm saying this, but cracking down on the use of AI and making sure that for education platforms you have those solutions that are monitoring to see if folks are using AI for all of their work. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I feel so bad for this generation. Do you remember writing a paper, a draft, the
on the
final, the
on the
revisions?
So did you all have that red, yellow, and green paper you had to write? Like
Huh?
No.
nobody
Tell me more.
had that.
What is
Oh
it?
my gosh! So in my school back in Blackshear, Georgia, when it came to writing a story, we always had like colored paper. So you knew your first draft. It was like just write out whatever's in your mind. It was always on that red paper. And then it gave you the time to just be free and be creative. And then you went to like your second draft. It was yellow paper. You want to try to refine it. You want to, think about the grammar. You want to think about where the story is leading to and what you're trying to tell your audience. And then, you get to green and okay, this is the draft. This is what everyone sees. And you make sure, you polish whatever you're doing. So I hear you. That is all going away, but clearly it's going away because you all don't know.
Not knowing how to write a paper is scary. On your own through the use of, grammar, fine, so be it. If it's, you're trying to check grammar, so be it. But concept, hypothesis, executive summary, if that's not coming from you, I don't know what the future of academia will look like.
Yeah, I remember like my parents, I feel like a lot of people's parents had it my parents had like those encyclopedias. I remember having to look through encyclopedias. I remember actually having to use textbooks. I remember having to go to the library, and I was born in 1990, so it's not like it was. Well, I guess I guess it was that long ago at this point. But yeah, I remember having to do all that. So obviously, but then there's the argument right now. There's the people who are like talking about how everybody thought critical thinking would be impacted when the internet came out. Or when anytime there's some type of technological advance that I guess leads to efficiency, right? There's that argument that, it's going to impact critical thinking. So
it also leads to building new skills. I think, just with everything like factories. Okay, now you had to have people who were really skilled at working the tools that came out with, a certain change in an organization or a change or advancement. So I feel like that'll be the same with this as well.
Yeah. No, I agree. So you're from the Midwest. This is totally off topic, but I have to ask it because she just talked about red, yellow, green. So now I'm going to ask you a question. Did you in high school have to take a standardized test? Like there was a day that every single person was taking like the ACT or whatever?
Yeah, absolutely. Even MEEP. Did you take, I think MEEP might be Michigan based, like when you're younger, like elementary school and maybe even middle. But yes, everybody, same day, whole school operations are complete. I don't even think the other students came to school that day if they weren't testing. Yeah.
See?
And it was a big deal. Like, it was a big deal.
That was all. I just needed to know. What about you, Anthony? Wait, aren't you from like Puerto Rico?
Yeah, we also had the standardized test.
Yeah. We don't know what was going on in Georgia.
Right. So there's something I want to get into right now. Okay, so you told us that you're a writer. You be doing books.
I do.
Tell us about it.
Well, one day during COVID, I had a dream and I woke up and wrote everything down immediately before I forgot it. And that was the first book. It was crazy. And then after I wrote that book, because that book was rushed because it was like thoughts fresh off of sleep. And so the second book, I feel like that's my baby. I put in all my, I feel like you can see growth between book 1 and book 2. Now, book 3, I'm taking my time and it's been a while. I had writer's block, and for some reason I work very well under pressure because I wrote those 2 books when I was getting my master's, when I had no time to even breathe because it was school. But I'm working on a more, I would say, it's a love story with cyber security and technology aspects and components. So there's a stalker in the story, and he details how he goes about that. And if you are in the field, then you'll be definitely interested in some of the tech talk that's occurring to explain how he's um, doing what he's doing, essentially. But I love writing. In a perfect world, I would just write.
So, like, you gonna tell us the name of the book? You gonna tell us what,
So
like,
book one is I Thought You Loved Me. Book two is What is Love. Book three is Love Reloaded: A Second Chance. And then the new book that I'm writing, I don't have a title for it yet. I'm working on it.
okay, I'm gonna need
Yeah.
you gotta send us the link to the
Yeah,
books.
absolutely. Absolutely. Don't be looking at me different after you read the books. Okay. Just read them and then we can talk about them.
Okay, it's gonna be like, it's not gonna be like smoke, is it? Like,
It, okay, are you guys readers?
it depends on what the book is.
Are you an urban fiction
I
reader?
mean, I read The Coldest Winter Ever. Is that what it's called?
Okay.
I mean, I read that. It
Yes.
was good.
It's like her cousin, her step cousin, maybe a little bit worse.
Wait, look. How many pages is it?
The first book is not that long. It's less than 100. The second book is maybe almost 300, but they're not that big.
She writing Harry Potter over here. You're talking about
Right.
300 pages. That's
Saying not
cool
But
that
though.
big.
it's so good. I swear it's so good. It's so good. I've
Yeah,
only heard great things. I've only heard great things.
we gonna check it out. We gonna support for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
So, do you have like an alter ego? Like, where does this creativity come from?
Yep. She's who I can be.
Okay.
She's who I if the world wasn't the world and you didn't have to live right, she's just that person, right? She's gonna do, she doesn't care, no consequences. Act now, think later is her vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, I started writing a book a while ago, and basically the person I was working with was like, "Do you have any fun?" So I was thinking about her talking about she has an alter ego that is like really, it sounds like kind of wild, kind of out there, but yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. She literally was like, "Do you don't like you kind of serious? Like, do you have a personality?" Damn. All right. Cool. Cool. All right. She even told me it was boring.
Oh, the book?
Yeah, she was like, honestly, I wasn't gonna help you because this was boring.
Did you take it back to the drawing board?
Yeah, I'm slowly taking it back to the drawing board. I'm not a fun person, so I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to work it out. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what happens when you spend your 20s studying.
That'll do it.
You become a square. But Tiffany, please get us back to the career questions.
You've been co-hosting the Textual Talk with Henry. Why do you think storytelling matters in cybersecurity education?
I think storytelling matters because it's important on the story itself, right? Might not be super interesting to someone who doesn't really get it. But that storytelling piece where you get to explain it in a way where folks can relate or in a way where they're like, okay, let me listen to a little bit more of that, where you can pique their interest. I think that is why storytelling is important. I can read one article from CNN, right? And then maybe we go and break that article down and you might receive it in a different way because maybe we're using lingo or verbiage that feels more comfortable and familiar to you and that isn't maybe so technical, or maybe we break down what happened technically in a simple way to where you could begin to understand kind of what happened. I think that is so important. And I think that w- when people start to get that little bit of exposure, then they then want more, right? They're like, okay, well, it be going down in the tech industry. Like my brother, for example, and I'm telling him about like, oh yeah, you got advanced persistent threats. Yeah, they're basically like gangs, really. If you think about them in that way, he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, you want me to tell you more? But yeah, I think storytelling is very important.
Have y'all? So no, I didn't know you have. Have you heard of XI? She's like really big into AI.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Light
it's no.
skin?
Yeah.
I know her. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
She has a really good interview where she essentially talks about how if you were to think about the concept of coding, and if you were to find a way to put the language, right, instead of using, like tuples or arrays, things like that, but trying to more closely align it to language associated with, say like urban cultures, it'd be a lot easier to learn. And she like references examples from different cultures where they're actually trying to do that, and they're finding that young people are learning a lot quicker. So I feel like you definitely touched on that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was there ever a time where you felt like, or you wondered if your voice was the right voice to tell the story? And then how do you encourage others to know that their story matters in tech?
No, I always knew my voice was the right voice, and I don't say that in a cocky way. I say that because I was just in these shoes. It's not like I started this industry 20 years ago. It's been 5 years. And so I feel like because of that, it's very relevant. I understand what it feels like to be in school and to feel like everything isn't making sense right now. And then I know what it feels like to have that light bulb moment. So for me, I feel like because I had those experiences and I was able to grow and gain so much in a shorter amount of time, I feel like that makes me a more ideal person that someone could potentially see themselves in. Um, Not that I didn't believe in myself, but I had no idea that I'd be where I'm at doing what I'm doing when I was getting that master's degree. I had no idea. And I want people I also don't feel like people are very transparent on struggling. I think that we have a culture that glamorizes, oh, well, this is easy to me and this is easy or it's not that hard. And I am a proponent against that. Some things take a while for you to understand, and it's okay. So I think that that makes me more confident in knowing that I can relate to because I was just there not too long ago.
Love that. Love that. Understanding that everyone processes things differently. So perfect.
Yeah, for sure. So tell us about your podcast. I mean, I already actually know about it, but tell the people who don't know about it. Tell us about your podcast. Like, why did you start it? What's the vibe?
Yeah, so I'm Ray, my co-host. He is the founder of the podcast Textual Chatter. We're everywhere where you can watch any podcast. We're on Apple, Spotify, YouTube. We're everywhere. Tune in. Free plug. But a little bit, we talk about a lot of different things. We talk about career, we talk about resumes, we talk about breaking in, we talk about different cybersecurity incidents, breaches that occur, any violations in data privacy. And we try to talk about these things in a way that, again, they're digestible for people that look like us. So that you might not want to watch CNN, right? But you might want to tune in because you like the way that we explain things, or you like the way that we kind of bring you in to understand what's happening in the field. And it's not just really cybersecurity. We really do talk about tech as a whole. We talk about iPhone versus Android sometimes and just some of the different capabilities. So we're kind of all over the tech space, but I really admire how we make those concepts more digestible for, again, people that look like us.
I'm like, I'm like, I've seen their podcast. It's so cool. They're way cooler than like most people in the space. So kudos to y'all for that, for sure. Trying to be like you when I grow up, but me.
What advice would you give to someone also trying to build their presence on LinkedIn or YouTube and just share their story and their journey in tech?
Tell it raw, tell it real. Don't wait until you feel like you made it to start sharing. Someone needs your progress, your testimony, not just basically you highlighting all the things that you've done. I think it's so important today in this digital world that we live in for you to have some sort of paper trail to show and illustrate some of your growth and some of the progress that you've been able to make. LinkedIn is amazing. You can make a blog, you can write a newsletter, you can do YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. There are so many different platforms that you can take advantage of. And I think it's important to have that paper trail because we often forget how much we actually are doing because we're focused on what's next. So you forgot that you built a whole network topology because now you're focused on another topic. So I think it also serves as a reference for you to be able to go back and be like, oh yeah, I did do this. I do that with my with some of my work from my master's program. I'll go back and be like, oh, I did do that. I can't believe it. Or I'll reread the paper and be like, oh, before AI, that sounds pretty good. But I think it's very important for you to be able to go back, reference, see a history of your growth and your progression. And also to build up your community, not just showcasing what you're doing. You're also able to make peers, to make connections, potentially friends who are also interested in these things and maybe doing some of the same things as well.
Awesome. If you look back to yourself at the beginning of the master's program and you were writing yourself a letter about where you are now, what would be in that letter?
Ooh, I would have told myself to do the program in person because I did it online. So I feel like I felt a lack of closeness to classmates and my peers. A lot of people were online as well, but I feel like I could have gained a little bit more from just that face-to-face interaction. I would have also told me to buckle up, Chuck, because it's gonna get hard and it's gonna get ugly and you're gonna cry, but it's gonna be okay. Um, I was pretty connected with like my instructors, especially those that like I admired and appreciated their teaching style. So I don't really necessarily wish I would have done anything differently there. I wish I would have started looking for internships sooner as well. I had an internship, but I feel like I could have had one both years instead of just 1 year. Because that was something I just never took advantage of in undergrad. And then for my master's, I was like, absolutely not. You have to get it. Like, you have to get an internship. There's no way you're going to be able to do this. And I got bold enough and quit my job. And like a month later, I got offered an internship.
Let's go.
Awesome.
Bet on yourself. Take a risk. I love that. All right. So you talking about being real and raw, right? Okay. Tell us a real fun fact about you that's like you never shared it on camera before.
Real fun fact.
She's never been to a WNBA game. That's one.
Yeah. Okay, yes, I've never been to a WNBA game. I really like water a lot, but I can't swim. But I love water. But like, hear me out. I'm not scared on a boat, but at a pool that's 12 feet deep, I don't know, Jaws could be down there.
In a pool?
That's 12 feet deep. I don't know. I know that sounds like totally backwards, but like I feel safe on a boat. When I'm even just walking by a pool, like at the deeper end, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to fall in. I'm going to drown. It's 12 feet. What am I going to do? But I don't feel like that on a boat. It doesn't make sense, I know. But yeah, I love water, but not that deep. There's a limit to my deep. If it comes past my chest, it's too much for me.
That's definitely an interesting fact. I can't stand. So it's funny because we like the beach. I hate open water now. Now that I'm older, like just the idea of swimming in the ocean totally freaks me out now. And I'm a great swimmer. I'm a strong swimmer.
I don't think if I could swim, I would swim in the ocean though.
Okay.
I would maybe jump off of a boat and then get back on the boat if I could swim.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that why we don't go kayaking anymore? Because
I mean, I can
feel
stick.
like
I can stick to the rivers and the lakes like I used to.
we have. Okay, all right. We going all the way back to the 90s on it.
Okay. Well, we have to wrap it up. Should we ask the burnout question before we officially, or the advice question?
What gives you joy?
What gives you joy?
What gives me joy? Waking up, loving what I do. I have worked many jobs that did not make me wake up happy. So waking up just feeling joy and happiness and knowing that one, I'm helping people, and one, and two, that I'm doing things that make me happy is really important for me. I don't want anything other than for people to be like, oh man, I know her. Yeah, she makes things easier for me to understand. That makes me happy. Educating makes me happy. Helping people gain knowledge and understand what it takes to be in the field today. That is what brings me joy.
Do you do spoken word?
No, but I've actually thought about it here. They have this LGBTQ friendly evening and people come and do spoken word. I thought about it.
Yeah, you look like you like do spoken word on Thursday nights or something. So I definitely thought that's what you were gonna say.
Let me put my turban on. Let me put my turban on.
Gosh.
Right
Snap my
on.
fingers a couple times.
Period. So, like the last question we have for you, one piece of just life-shattering advice that you have for somebody trying to transition into cybersecurity.
I said this on the pod before, but I'm going to use it again this time. From Finding Nemo, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. It might not make sense. It might not seem easy right now. You might feel discouraged, but just keep going. You never know where your dreams and your passion can take you. And if you really want something, you are going to be willing to put in the work to get there. So just keep swimming. You keep going. Try to make you some friends along the way who make the journey a little more bearable for you, because it can be tough, especially if you don't have a large community to reach out to, but you just keep swimming.
I like that. I like that a lot. Oh, okay. So this is where I'm supposed to say thank you. Yeah. Okay. Okay. The look is like, all right, here we go. Well, yeah. So we officially have to wrap up because Anthony will start looking at us sideways. Yeah, I can say it on the live now. You can't believe it.
I can't mute you.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to chat with us. I know you're super busy out here saving the world. So seriously, like endless gratitude. We appreciate this so much, for real. And don't forget to send us the link for your book.
I will, and thanks for having me, everyone.
Awesome. And for those who are looking to get in touch with you and or learn more about what it is you do for the community, how do they access you?
I have a lot of handles, but main handle is Cyber Shortieee on Instagram, CYBERSHORTIEEE, 3 E's. Instagram for the podcast is Textual Chatter, TECHTUAL, Chatter, CHATTER. Same handle on YouTube for the podcast. And then I'm also Cyber Shortieee on YouTube as well. If you are looking to connect with me on LinkedIn, I am Destini Simmons there. But yeah, that's how to get in touch with me.
Perfect. And for those of you who joined to listen in to this episode of the Stats on Stats podcast, we're so glad that you chose to spend your time with us, and we guess we'll see you next time.
Stay wavy.
See ya.